And then it's us. Hello.
Hey!
Hello all. Welcome to our interview. We have Abby. Say hi to Abby, everyone.
Hello!
Hello. Okay, and you can always, if you want to ask Abby a question, you just got to put it in the comments, and hopefully I will see it, and then we can actually, just chuck any questions at her. She's well up for answering anything, aren't you?
Yes, sure. Nice questions, guys. Nice ones.
Nice ones, nice ones.
Yeah,
It's
nice.
such a pleasure to have you with us and for us to interview you so we can get to know you even more than we already know you.
Whoa,
Yes, I know that's deep, isn't it?
deep stuff.
So Abby, where are you in the world at this moment in time? So where are you in lockdown?
Lockdown, I'm in Bridgewater at Cheeky Hill House, where we were supposed to be going for our weekend away,
Uh,
which maybe is not happening anymore.
it's definitely no. It's been pushed off till next year now. So
Definitely not happening. Abby Helps will have a weekend away for you all.
yes, yeah, for 8 weeks now, isn't it? In lockdown.
Yep, good times. Ah.
So yeah, so you've been there for 8 weeks, and you finished your dissertation. You're officially. What are you now? Officially.
Oh, uh, what? Because of my degree,
Yeah.
I've got a degree in inclusive practice.
Oh right. Okay. So what does that mean?
It means I should be able to be a little bit of help if you've got a barrier to learning, basically.
All right.
Any kind of barrier, I'm your gal. Come at me.
Okay. So is that in any kind of subject, or is it?
Oh, so I started maths and English at college, as in where I work.
Hmm,
But mainly maths. If you've got any 2+2 issues, I'm there for you.
okay.
But generally, it should be able to span to any learning. So kind of, but kind of not.
Oh, great, great. Okay. So tell me, how did you become a Christian? So tell us your story of your journey to becoming a Christian.
Okay, my story. This is my story.
This is my song.
Thank you.
Go
No
for
one
it.
will know that song. I don't know if they'll know that
No,
song.
I doubt
You
it.
know that song, guys? No.
No, no one's saying anything. No.
No one knows. So my story. I was brought up in a Christian home. Basically all my family are Christians. My granddad runs a church in Clevedon,
Hmm.
and church was kind of like that thing that you went to, that everybody went to, and you got to see your cousins and your friends. And Sunday school was a laugh, and you knew all the stories. You knew when to say Jesus, and it was kind of, for me, it was the stories. It was, I know Jesus is up in the sky, but I didn't really have a relationship with him, I don't think. So I was baptized at 10,
Right.
which I think is quite wee. You
Mm.
do know. I think I knew, but I
Yeah.
don't think I had a relationship with him. I didn't know what it meant to walk with God and to know him and know what he thought of me.
Mm.
So that kind of went on for a while. Still went to church. Um, that was, my friends knew, so if they asked, I was quite happy to tell them. But it was
Yeah.
kind of like a Sunday kind of thing. And then my parents got divorced, and I think that was the time where I went, I can't do this on my own. My foundation of family is kind of
Yeah.
separating.
Mm.
So where do I stand in this, and
Mm.
where do I get my strength from? And so I think through that time I realised that I couldn't do it on my own. I couldn't rely on people as much as I thought,
Mm.
and it kind of just led me straight to God. And I think through that time, my dad gave me a lot of worship songs to listen to. I think church church was kind of put on hold for a minute because I was in different houses and
Mm.
I didn't really know what I thought. But I knew when I was at home, I knew God was there, and I knew I could find Him when I was listening to worship, when I was just having a cry, when just at the dinner table, wherever I was. I just found that God was always there
Mm.
through the whole thing, even when everything else was so unknown and everything was like, but Christians don't get divorced. And obviously, that's not true. And so, yeah, I guess through that time, the relationship of knowing God came through, and I found that I could trust in Him through everything. And yeah, through that time, there was loads of learning curves of my faith as well, I think. So when I decided I didn't want to live in our family home, I moved in with my dad, who lived at my grandma's. So we lived there for 2 years. And through that time, I didn't really realise how much of a blessing it was, but she kind of basically became my mum automatically. And through those 2 years, I didn't feel as shaken because we had our own weird little family unit again. And I think about 3 years after she died. And I think because of that, though, I always know that even when stuff sucks, God does stuff for a reason. So because I had that time with her before, it didn't feel as special then, but now looking back on it, it couldn't be any more special because of what happened after. So what I'm trying to say is actually that when the divorce happened, my whole life turned upside down. But without that, I wouldn't have had those 2 years with her before she died. And so I think a massive thing for me is to look back on that and remember that even though that story won't happen again, I know that even when my world is shaken, that God will always turn up and He'll find something good from it. And basically, I'll never be on my own.
So how did that affect your relationships with your family then?
As in my whole family or just my
Yes.
parents?
Well, your parents, your whole family. How were the dynamics of when a split happens, and how did that affect your relationships?
At the time, my relationship with my dad became very strong because he was my go-to of basically anything and everything. Actually, grandma was first, dad was second, but usually grandma doesn't have a telephone, so you have to go to him first if you're away.
Right.
But she was always my backup of, dad's done this. She was always on my side, so that was always good. So that relationship grew stronger. The relationship with my mum, I didn't see her for 6 years at one point.
Wow.
And so that was challenging for many different reasons. So my church family was on my mum's side. So my mum's dad owns the church. And so I basically didn't see them for a very long time. So that was, so it basically went from we're a happy family, so I thought, to we're divorced, to I'm not seeing you for 6 years, which was quite a drastic jump, I think.
Okay. So, so with church then, how did church? At some point you went back to church. I know you had that hiatus, that time when you didn't go. So how was church played a role in this your walk?
So after a while, when I was at my dad's, we went to Holy Trinity Church in Weston-super-Mare. Sorry, guys.
No, it's a great church. That's where I got saved. So I got saved there. So yeah.
We hate these scumbags. No, we don't. We love them. So.
We do love them. Yes.
We do love them. I forgot what I was going to say now. Oh, so we started going there because my dad had old friends that he grew up with, people that went to Holy Trinity. And so we started going to there, commuting from Bristol, which is quite a trek for church, really.
It is, yeah.
But in the transition from my mum's to my dad's, I basically spent the whole summer holiday away from home. So I spent 4 weeks in London with my family. Then I went on my mum's church camp, then my dad's church camp, which was Holy Trinity. So I had an intense 6 weeks, and the final week was the church camp, which I can't remember what it was called then. I think it was called Infuse or something.
Okay.
I don't know what it's called. And that week was amazing, but then I think it was the first time I was ever homesick in my life, which was super weird. I never had it before. But at camp, you always have those weird conversations and weird I don't know, just everything's weird at camp, and you build friends quicker than you thought you could, and
Yeah.
you have cheeky banter, and you have a foam party and a silent disco, and I don't know. I think I built friendships there, but at the same time, I was like, I'm insanely homesick, and I don't know what to do with my life. But I think the friendships had been formed, and so from there, when you know one person, then this person knows this person, and rah rah rah, and then you suddenly know the whole church. And so I think I kind of went from there. Started going to youth on a Friday it was, and I became part of the church band. Actually, don't tell anyone. Should have
Really?
said that.
Oh, so what instrument did you used to play then?
We never had this conversation before. The last
Well, I
instrument,
may have had this conversation with you, but our listeners may not have. But
I don't know
yeah,
if they do. Probably the last instrument you'd imagine Abby helps having. It was the
okay.
violin, guys. The violin.
Violin. Look at you.
Yep. Do
Do you still play?
No.
No.
A bit sad, really. Probably not since 7 years. 7, 8 years
now.
since I played it. Yeah.
Okay.
Probably. So don't ask me because I can't play it anymore.
Well, we might help to magically get a kind of violin and see if you can sound like a strangled cat or anything like that. You know,
I've still got my violin. I've still got it.
you still got it. Okay, well
It's
then
like
you
a
dust it
family-
off.
It was passed through family.
Well, then you got to
like
dust
my
it
granddad's
off
sister's
and
mum's.
give us a rendition.
I don't think so. I think I lost it.
Ah, chicken.
Yes, I'd rather that.
Okay, so you were playing in the church band, yeah.
Oh yeah. So I think church became more like a family. So church was. Oh, you've gone.
Yes, I know. It's my webcam playing up. It's
Shall I
okay.
keep going?
Yeah, just keep going. My sound is still here, so don't worry. It's just my.
Okay.
See, I'm back.
Oh, it's
See
quite
ya.
nice without you, to be honest.
Thank you.
I think the youth would agree if we had a vote.
Yeah.
Andy's face, no Andy's face.
Well, I think they would side with you with no Andy's face. Thanks for that. It's really
You're
kind.
welcome. But we all love you, so it's fine.
That's all right. Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Just got fine.
Smooth it over, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, then. So.
Didn't say it.
So, yeah, carry on with your story. Church band.
Didn't bring it back to church band. So, unbelievable. Church became like a family, I guess. And after I was there, I was at another church, and I think then I was kind of becoming an adult, and the decisions were my own. I was no longer at my dad's church. It was my church, and I was going not because my family goes, but because I wanted to go. And it was kind of I think it was a big step in faith of actually this is where God has asked me to be, and I'm going to surround myself in this, and I'm going to trust God that this is where I'm meant to be, and that God pulled through. Of course, He did.
Yes.
And that church was huge for me. It was my family. It was who I called when I didn't know what to do, or I broke the fridge, or the fire alarm went off, or whatever it was. My church family was always my shoulder to cry on, or whatever it was. And because they always pushed me back to God, and they always knew how to snap me out of things and say, God is in this, and God has got you, and God is holding you, and all that stuff, basically.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that answers my question. Yeah. Okay.
We kind of went a bit like that on that.
Well, no, that's fine. It's
I
great.
like it.
It's great. And so you're now present. So what's your present situation in your? Where's your faith in lockdown? How's it developing? All that kind of stuff. So how are you finding it?
Yeah, it's good. I feel like it's been a journey. I feel like there's a lot of pressure at the minute. I don't know if everyone's feeling this, but I feel there's this pressure of we must make the most of all this time. We must relax as much as we can because we can't usually. We must be proactive as much as we can because we'll never get this time again. And the same with church, I think we must spend as much time with God in all this as we can because we'll never get this time again. And I think that pressure is good as long as we know that whatever we're doing is enough, and God knows when we're there, and God knows that we're asking for Him, and we can still have. I think I found that there's not a specific way to have a relationship with God, and sometimes He'll surprise you. So I think the other day, there's like 5,000 walks you can do around here, but I kept doing the same one around the same field. And then 2 days ago, whenever it was, I walked around the corner onto the field and immediately just had to take a step back and be like, flip, God made this. And I think just the sun was setting in the right way, and all the grass looked green, and couldn't smell poo that you can usually smell. And just, I had a real God moment of, flip, God is in this, and
that's nice.
God is right here with us. And I think I've had loads of little moments like that has reminded me that God is in everything. And I've tried to do, there's a thing called Lectio 365. I don't know if anyone's heard of it. It's basically a little Bible app, and it talks for about 10 minutes. And I've tried to do it every day. I got really good, and I've been awful recently, but I've tried to use it as a good start to the day to kind of set my focus on what I want it to be, which is God. And I think usually I do it as soon as I've woken up. I'm like, right, Lectio. And sometimes I fall back asleep, which is awful, but I do. But I think sometimes I can't remember what goes in, and I think that's okay, because I've started the day by thinking about God and having a time with Him and a talk with Him, and then sometimes a week later I'll go, oh, that Lectio said that, and I didn't know it went in, but apparently it did. And I think God plants those little seeds in us that spring out at random times, and sometimes you don't know they're there, and they pop in at the right moment, that He's put it in here, and then He's waited till here for you to use it, but it's been there the whole time because He needed you to have it here, but you just didn't know. And so I think a lot of things like that have happened, really, just small things that you might think are insignificant, but actually I don't think I'll ever forget that field. I'll probably take a picture. I need to take a picture of the field just to have a little memory of God is everywhere and in everything.
Well, yeah, that's the truth, isn't it? He is everywhere, but there's certain times where heaven and earth become thin, a place where He breaks through, and yeah, He's just there, just round the corner, like you say. Okay, so what are your plans for the future then? Where are you going with with your faith, or with your career, or what's next for Abby Helps?
Very interesting question, Andy. Thank you for asking. I don't really know. I don't know. So I feel like end of degree is big. You've got the whole world as your oyster now, and there's lots of opportunities, which I know there are. I should probably be more grateful than I am. There's too many choices, too many decisions. And so I think I've said all year, once my uni is finished, that is the time to focus on God's next direction for me, whether that be in my workplace, whether that be in education, or wherever. I think God started to prompt my heart for thinking about it, because I hate change. I could stay comfortable forever, and I'd much rather that. But I think God always prompts my heart quite a while before a big change comes, because God knows me more than I know me, and I think Abby needs a long time before something happens for her to actually step out and do something. And sometimes He doesn't. Mostly with jobs, He quite often has. And I think for a while I feel change is afoot.
Right.
And I think it's a slow process of praying about things, and eventually comes to pushing doors and seeing what God leaves open and what He shuts. And so I think I'm at that stage now where I feel like I've been in my job for quite a few years, and uni's just finished, and I don't really have any big responsibilities. I don't have a house anymore, and so
You
there's
got
a lot of
freedom. Yeah, you got
yeah,
freedom to make a choice where you're going to go next. Yeah.
yeah. So now it's just pressing into what God wants and
Mm.
waiting for His timing. Because I could say I want a new job in September, and actually God's like, "Oh, you've actually got 5 more years there, Abby. So stay put." But yeah, it's just
So what makes your heart kind of burn? What is your passion then? Would you say if if that is where the Lord could lead you, where is your passion?
I think it's always been with children slash young people. Um, I think when I was 16 when my parents got divorced, and I think from then, that story I've told probably hundreds of times, and it's helped. I hope it's helped other
Mm.
people to kind of see different ways of looking at it, or being able to cling to different stories or different hopes. And so I think that's been a massive part of how I've looked at it, and how children are vulnerable, and children don't know what they want, and they don't know what's best for them. And I think to be able to be a part of their lives and be able to hopefully give them a little boost of encouragement, or a small wise word sometimes pops out of my mouth, and you
Really?
think, it
It
happens. It
happens.
might not
Wow.
happen to you, but yeah.
No, I've heard plenty of wise stuff coming
Uh,
from you. Yes, I
I'm
would say
petty.
that you're a wise guy. Yeah.
Oh, thanks. I'll take it
Yeah.
straight to the back. Yeah. So I guess just that, just young people
Hmm. That's great.
generally.
See where that takes you then for the future.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna give you a quick fire round of 10 questions. Okay.
Ooh.
All right.
Yep.
So are you ready for these? All right.
I'm ready.
So
Yeah.
what is your favourite word?
Biscoff.
Biscoff.
Yeah.
Biscoff. Okay. What is your least favourite word?
Moist.
Moist.
No
Oh.
one likes that word.
What motivates you?
Biscoff.
Biscoff. Okay. What demotivates you?
Running out of Biscoff.
Running out of Biscoff. Okay then.
Yeah.
What sound or noise do you love?
So here there's a little dog, he's not here right now. He's called Cooper. And we have little chats together. And he's just really cute, basically, and we just have a lovely chat.
All right. So he's like his sound. What sound or noise do you hate?
Your voice.
Thank you. You're so
Yeah.
kind. Thank you for that.
You're
Is
welcome.
that because you couldn't think of anything else?
No.
Thanks. What is your comfort food?
So a biscuit,
Hmm.
and then Biscoff on the biscuit, and then strawberry on top.
Wow,
Good.
that
You should
sounds
try
good.
it.
Yeah, I will try it. Okay, so what profession other than the one you're in would you like to attempt?
Professional dancing. I can't even say it seriously. I think I've got it in me. It's there.
You think
Don't
it's there?
listen.
You,
Young people will be on my side. I think you guys.
so
They see me dance.
not two left feet, but you reckon you've got it for being a dancer.
Yeah,
Okay, so
for sure.
we've been doing things at church of doing TikTok dances and stuff like that. So this is your perfect opportunity
This is
to.
my moment.
This is your moment. So yeah, do a video, TikTok one, and send it to us, and then we can play it, and then we can yeah, be your judge. Is
Right.
that what do you reckon?
I'll think about it.
That's a no then. Okay. So what profession would you not like to do?
A professional parsnip taster. Most of my answers are around
Interesting.
food. I've just realised. I think I was hungry.
I think you are, or you just like food.
I
Okay.
just like food.
Okay, so this is the last question. What would you like God to say to you when you arrive in heaven?
One word.
One word, what, or a couple of words you can have. Yeah, whatever.
Okay, what? I'm going to do one word. It's going to be Abby!
Love it. Great. Thank you. That is awesome. Thank you. So a big thank you to Abby for being with us. Really appreciate you giving some of your lockdown time to be with us. And I'm sure we'll kind of knock on your door again and ask you to kind of give an update of where you're going at some point. So that'd be great.
Yeah.
Really. So thank you for joining us, and I'm sure our listeners would give you a round of applause. I can actually hear them now. So
Whoa.
look at that. Yeah, amazing. All right. So thank you so much for being with us, and guys, thank you for being with us and watching. And it's great being with you. And our next one is we're going to be watching. The movie club quiz is on Thursday, so please join us for that. I don't know what film we're going to be watching because they're still voting, so I'll get back to you on that one. So, it's all we can say is goodbye. All right, thank you, see you all. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.